Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial. This is a similar project to something that I've done in the past, but it has been quite a while since I have done so. So I thought I would bring it to you. It's another multi-flip, multi-pocket kind of piece of ephemera that is a tag. So so let me show you how I'm going to do it. By the time you see this video, this will have been long past. I've got a busy weekend coming up here. It's Thursday, October the 30th, so I'm filming, getting ahead because I've got a busy weekend. I won't be able to do much work in the studio. So let me show you without further ado. I'm going to move some supplies out of the way because we're going to need that cutter over here. And so it is, I'm using the belly band feature. So again, the benefit of that with an ephemera piece is you can glue only this piece, okay, this to your journal page, and then you can just pull this out, and then you can work in it. So because we've got, it's a triple flip tag, so we've got a flip with a pocket in each, flip, flip, flip. So writing space, writing space, writing space. This is just decorative at this point. I didn't want to put anything more in there because it's already a little bit bulky. And as you can see, I've altered the flips there. It could also go like this, but then you're covering up that beautiful embellishment I did on the front. So this is the My Porch Prints. I believe everything I'm using today is My Porch Prints. Not My Porch Prints, Pink Monarch Prints. This is the Blue French Tool Kit. Love, love, love it. So that's one. Now for Christina, and the Keepsake Journal recipient, I am getting to the end of making ephemera for your journal because now I need to evaluate what I have and start getting the journal put together. So there may be things that I still use the kits for, and if I do, I'll use that and it'll still go to you. In the past videos, when I make 4 of something, it doesn't mean every one of those is going to go into that journal, but if it specifically looks like it's for that journal, I'll send it along, as I mentioned, I think, in another comment. So that is that one. And then this is another kit that I had already in my stash. No, I think I bought this on their sale. They did a 50% off sale this last weekend. Thank you, Rhea, for letting me know that. So I picked up, this is Blush and Bloom, right up my alley. If you guys have been following me along with me for a while, I attempted to make a journal on camera for a baby girl that I lost a long time ago. I want to make a journal to put things in, and it didn't work for me to do that on camera. It just felt like it wasn't right, but I'm loving this kit and I'm feeling like this might be something I would use in that journal. So it's really inspired me. So I decided I will begin using this to kind of multiply my ephemera and get some stash here also in the studio. So this is from the Blush and Bloom kit. And then this is our template, which I'll talk about in a second. Another one that I have, this is called Floral Frost. It's a winter kit. We're going to be working with this one today. It's absolutely amazing. Look at these images. Just amazing. So super happy about that. And then I'm not going to do 2 on camera, but I will do one more off camera for the Keepsake Journal. So I'll be using these papers and we'll make one. I just am running out of time to do much more. I don't have time to do another sample before I need to get this video up. So I'm trying to get ahead of the avalanche, so to speak. So here is our template. So the tag itself, the tag base measures 4 3/4 by 7.5, and you want 2 of them, okay? You don't necessarily, I mean, you could leave one connected on this side, but it creates a bulk that you don't necessarily want. So my template doesn't have the other piece, but you're basically going to put the tags back to back because we want to be able to hide these hinges, okay, that are holding our pockets, which is hard to see on camera because it's white paper. So you want 2 of those. And then your pockets, they're different sizes. So there's a 2 pockets that measure 3 by 10 inches. That is the full length. So when they're not folded and not gusseted or hinged. So that's allowing for a 1/2 inch hinge, and we're going to walk through that together. The middle one is 3.5 by 10, so it's a little bit taller, and it's got a 1/2 inch hinge as well. So same dealio. And I just put, would generally be decorative paper, writing space, writing space, writing space. And then let's talk about our belly band. So the belly band is 2 inches by 10.25 in total length, and that will get you the right length of belly band for the size that I'm making today. So if you're following along with these measurements, you'll be good to go. So I pulled a bunch of little ephemera. I wasn't sure how I wanted to decorate, so I just pulled a bunch, and I'm just going to set those over there out of the way. So, and these are our cards for the pockets. I was trying to be super prepared. So these are the papers that we're going to be working with. And I just love, what I love about Pink Monarch prints is, you know, you would maybe look at this and go, like, really, like, how are they similar? How do they go together? Okay, let me show you the things I notice. These tan tones are in here. These blue tones are in here. These berries are, or whatever they are, leaves are in here, or berries, whatever. I'm not sure what they are. But you can see that they do go together. They're just, yeah, they're just different. It's just so intriguing to me how that happens. And then this is another one I thought would be a good complement to both of these. So this will probably be our 3.5 inch one, and these will be the smaller one. And we'll make 2 out of that paper. So let's start with a tag base. So I'm going to bring my trimmer over. And you might have noticed I'm missing a ring. I took my ring in to have it checked, and it had lost a gem on the side, and the warranty for the gems had already run out, and so I have to pay some money for it. I don't have the estimate yet, but yeah, so I'm going to be missing that for a couple weeks at least, which is really a big bummer. You know, we get attached sometimes to our jewelry and how we look at it, and you're like, and I thought about moving my mother's ring over there, but like, nah, can't do it. So our tag base again is 4 3/4 inches wide. So we're going to cut 2 of these. So let me do that. And I do realize that some of this stuff is upside down, but not all of it is upside down. So we're just gonna roll with it. So that's 4 3/4 and 4 3/4 again, like so. And then I'm going to save all those scraps. I've got a system here I'm hoping to show you later. It's working really, really well for me to be working with so many of these gorgeous kits. So we have to cut some off. So I'm debating. I really want to keep those berries, even though much of that is not going to show. So I think I'll go like that and have this be on the back because I want those berries. So I'm going to cut off this end. So we need this to be 7.5 inches tall. So I'm just going to cut that off. Just cutting a smidge off. And again, I will save that as well. And then let's go ahead and cut our tag shape. Now, what I did before is I just took my template, so I don't have to, like reinvent the wheel. And I'm just going to put this on here like this. Line it up. I've got them sandwiched together. They're both there. So we're just going to line that up and make a pencil mark and a pencil mark and boom. Because I think I did that one by hand. I don't think it's one of my templates that I typically use. So we're just going to cut this by hand. Okay. I believe this will be the Monday video, if all goes well. Okay, so our tag is ready. We don't need to do anything else. This was another, I printed this entire kit, and I printed on the back, or no, I can't remember what happened, but it like flipped my papers and it printed another image on the back, another kit on the back. It's like so bizarre. So those will be fine sandwiched together because we don't need to see that business. So our next thing is we need to do two of these long shapes that are 3 inches by 10 inches. So that's going to be, I'm debating on which I want. Yeah, I think I do want to use the busy paper for the smaller ones. So you can decide what suits you. So I'm going to first cut this down to 10 inches in length this way. And then we're going to cut 2 of these at 3 inches. They're fairly narrow, but they work out just fine. 3. And 3. And we can get rid of that. Okay. And then we're going to cut 1 more that is the 3.5 by 10. So same thing. 10 inches that direction. And 3.5 inches here. Okay, there we go. That's easy. So you've got 5 pieces, 2 tag bases and 3 pieces for your pockets. Okay, so we're going to score each of these at 1/2 inch. You could do narrower. I did the half. I had a 1/4 inch on my template or on something I made, and I decided to change it to 1/2 inch just so I had a little bit more grip, because it does get a little bit bulky. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, if this was directional, you'd want to make sure that you're scoring the right side, because this one's going to go on the right side of the tag. The smaller ones are going to go on the left side. So if this was directional, I'd want to make sure I scored it on the right side. So you don't need to worry about that if that's not the case for you. So again, 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. And we should be good with that for now. And so let's go ahead and score these and get them burnished really well, because I'm going to show you the easy way to make this into that little pocket. So, because I don't mind saying that when I first start dreaming these ideas up, I do struggle a bit with the most resourceful way to do it. But by the time I bring it to you, I have it pretty well fleshed out. So there we go. All right, so we've got 3 pieces. So let's go ahead and start with the small ones. So what you're going to do is take this and you want to fold this up and have it get right up into that score line. Okay, so I'm just going to really be on one of my samples. I didn't do it far enough, or I measured wrong and it created a problem. So that looks pretty good. Again, give that a burnish. Do the same with this one. Just tuck this in there, and if it helps you, you could always ink this edge, especially probably should do that for the camera, but there you go. Now you can see that better, and then just butt that not like right into the crease, but you want to get it very close because our measurements are quite specific. Okay, and that will make more sense here as we put the tag together. Okay, so that's the second one, and we're going to do the same with this one. So let's go ahead and follow that and go ahead and ink this up. I'm thinking about rounding some corners on these. I haven't quite decided though. So I did everything straight edge on my samples. So now see, this one is not cut evenly. So I'm going to butt that up there. And you can kind of fold this and see. That looks good. So I'm just going to press that out. I feel like that paper was not cut evenly. Sometimes my trimmer is problematic. So yeah, I have a little bit of an overhang there. So I'm just going to try to trim that off here. Just a little bit. No sweat. Okay. And I'm going to also try to show you a trick for getting your thumb notches all in the same space. So I'm going to open this up like this, because we only want to punch. Oh, this is the way this one goes, so keep that in mind. This is your hinge, so I want it flipping this way. So I'm going to make sure that that's going that direction, and then these ones are going the other way. So yeah, like that, right? Okay. I have a better idea. So fold them all up. Fold them all up. Just tuck that score line in. You just want to make sure that you're thinking, why am I having such a, it's this way, Renee. Okay, so your hinges, your thumb notch is going to go on the side that you hinged. So sometimes words are hard. So I'm going to line that up there too, because I'm going to use my grid to find the center. Because they do look a little bit weird if they don't match. They're all staggered in different ways. I mean, if you're not bothered by that, then it's not a big deal. So see how I'm just kind of staggering them so I can make a mark on each one. So now I'm going to line this up on my grid, if I can figure that out. And about right there. So this is my center point. So I'm going to make a mark. Oh, that doesn't look right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's not right. Be right here. 1, 2, 1, 2, and a bit. Okay, so there, and there. Okay, and now I can just punch these all individually and not risk, you know, putting a hole where I don't, or a divot where I don't want it. So I'm just gonna line that up to that line in the punch as best I can. It doesn't have to be perfect, as I say. And there, and one more. And again, the hinge is on this side, so it's not on this edge, it's on this edge. I think on my one I did a long time ago, I put the thumb notch through both layers and it looked really ridiculous, so changing that up a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I've got glue on my mat. I'm going to take a moment, I'm going to ink all this up, and I'll be right back. Oh, hold on. I wanted to maybe round. Let's talk about that. Let's see if we would like that. So this is going to go, sorry for the oh, that looks really busy. That looks terribly busy, but we're going to go with it because it's what we picked. So that's going to go up here. And I'm thinking, you know what, I'm not going to round it. I think that in this tag, a tag is very geometrical, so I think we're just going to stick with that and not complicate it. You could round the corners. I would potentially round the outside corners, but I'm not going to do that today. Oh, just the last little, oh, that was really dark. The last little bit for this. Oh my heavens, that was dark. I was going along and I wasn't getting that dark passage of color there, and it's all of a sudden it's like boom, it's right there. Don't have to ink the back, and we'll deal with the back side in a moment. So this is our front, and the other benefit of doubling this up is this paper, to hold all those flaps, heaviness, it would be difficult. So they got very sturdy by putting the other tag on the back once we're done hinging. Okay, so the way I lined these up, well, first let's glue them together. So what you're going to do, let me find my glue. We're going to put glue here, and we're just going to close it up, okay? So here. I always have to turn things, guys. It's just my hang up. That's a little bit off. It's all right. Give that a second to set. We do lose a little bit of our landscape with that glue line, but that's okay. So that's what she looks like. And I'm just going to do the other two and just speed this up for a moment. Pretty easy project. I find that the preparation is always the lengthy part, especially for me, because I'm usually creating multiples of it. But that's okay. So I like to start with the top and the bottom, so then I can kind of measure out where the middle piece needs to go. So I'm going to butt this one right up. I'm not going to go quite, I kind of want to see that tag shape. On the other ones I went a little high, went all the way to that point, but I'm going to go just a bit down, okay? And I'm just going to, so see how we're just about exactly there to that edge. That's what you want, okay? So I'm going to just turn that over, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this with my white glue, because in this case, once you get it positioned, you want it to hold pretty quickly, okay? And we're going to hide those hinges. So if you need to fudge that a little bit more, you can try to press that in a little bit better. It doesn't have to be perfect, as I say. I was hoping to get, well, by the time you see this video, Saturday will have already happened. I was going to try to get a video up for this Saturday, which would be November 1st, but I just can't. I don't have the band. Oh, what? Okay, well, we'll go to the bottom on this piece, but see, I think we're off. No, maybe not. Okay, so we're going to go all the way to the bottom with the bottom pocket because there's not much of a gap there at all. So I'm just lining that up, pushing that there, giving it a little bit of a tap, turning it over, and I'm just going to hold that firm, okay, so it doesn't move, and apply some white glue. Be generous with it. You want it to be a good stick. Okay, and then just kind of push that into it like that as best you can. There is a little bit of an overlap because we're creating some bulk there, but I don't mind that look. So just like so. So see how close we are to that edge. That's really important. If it looks a little bit off, don't worry. It's just a junk journal. It doesn't have to be perfect. So look at that. So in this case, we don't have writing space. So probably what I'll do, there's some cards in the kit. I might pull those out and we might, well, I don't really want to cover that up. I should have thought about that, but I did not. Did not think about that. I might do that. I might still come in because we've got the front we can enjoy. So we'll explore that together. So you see how we do have a little bit of a gap there. So if you don't like the look of that, you can just get some ink in there and make it look a little bit more grungy. Get a hold of it, Cara-Renee. There we go. Awesome. Oh yeah, that looks much better. Okay, so let's do our other one. And so this one, the way I figured out how to get it even was I went like this, like turn it upside down so that I have this, the closest to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my grid and I'm just looking at the space between the pockets. So I think about right there. And so my center is right here. So I want to, it's not straight, Cara-Renee. It would help if you got it straight on the grid for accuracy. Again, I'm just looking at these 2 points. I'm not looking up here. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just approximating here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my grid. I know I'm making this very complex. That's about middle right there. Okay, because I can see this line here. This line here is the center. So I'm going to pick this up, move it towards me, pick it up. Okay, it's a little bit of a gymnastics feat here. Okay, I'm not going to move that anymore. I want to get a good stick here. And you could mark it. You could put some marks on your other bits that you could erase if that helped you out. I'll show you what I mean in a sec. I don't glue upside down very well, apparently. So what I mean is that you could have made a mark here and here on your other surface, and that would have been fine. So this one, for some reason, on all of mine, well, maybe if we slide it in a little bit more. Let me see if I can slide that. With white glue, you just don't really get a lot of wiggle room, so I don't really want to risk tearing the paper, so we're just going to call it good. It's just a little bit of an extra layer like that. Isn't that so pretty? Even though this background turned out really busy, something's off with this I don't know what happened. I don't think I butted that up quite far enough, but it is okay. So that is that. And I did not grab a piece for the belly band. That is important. We could use, is this a whole piece? Is this a whole piece? I don't know. Let's see. It just needs to be, what did it need to be? 10 1/4. So that's not going to work. I'll have to grab another piece from the bin, but let me do that really quick here. Floral frost. such a beautiful kit. Just loving, really enjoying pink monarch prints right now. As I mentioned before, they're not new to me at all. I bought from them ages ago when I first started my junk journal journey. So is this one a full one? I think this one will work, and it's part of the design we've already used, so that will be cohesive. There we go. So our belly band is going to be 2 inches wide. So I'm going to kind of evaluate this and see what I want to have included. I want that. Okay, so I think I'm going to cut off this edge. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my trimmer over once again and cut this 2 inches from this side. Your belly band could be whatever width you want it to be. It just needs to be 10 1/4 into that other cut. 10 1/4 inches long, and that I just sampled that for you, and it works out perfectly without an extra guessing of what you need to take off. Okay, so I want that to show, so I'm going to have it right to the edge because it's going to be covered up with other stuff, but I really love that blue flower. So my trick is just turn this over, get a loose fold here, and then give it a good crease. I don't know, I overuse these belly bands in many ways, but it works for me, and I think it's very versatile. So we're going to do this one, but we're going to leave a little bit of room so that it's not too tight, because we want this to slide in and out easily. So then you just can remove that, line up your edges, give that a good crease, and you're golden. It's as easy as that. And look how we have just enough. It's about 1/4 inch overlap. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of glue on that edge. And then we'll ink this up. Okay. Still my juicy pad, so I still have that thing I'm tapping off on. It's so dark. But as I mentioned before, I love the ink on lighter papers. I just think it's such a beautiful complement, especially to blues and peaches and yellows, and just all the lighter colors. It's really gorgeous. So there we go. So that is our belly band. So before we get to the belly band though, we need to do a couple things. So we need to glue this on. So let me ink this as well. And then we'll get it glued on the back. And I'll show you how it creates some stability that I think is really important to this piece. So there we go. So I just leave it like this. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac because it gets me more room or more time to wiggle around. So I'm just going to glue this on. I think on the ones I did years ago, the last time I did this kind of idea, I actually did some stitching on it. It was really quite pretty. Of course, I don't have any of that stuff to look at right now. I wasn't keeping a reference journal back then. I wasn't keeping a sample. So just gluing that on, make sure that you wiggle that around, get everything as lined up as possible. Again, perfection is not at play, so don't worry if you end up with something that's a little bit off. I feel like I want that edge a little bit darker since it's sticking out quite a bit. Yeah, look at that. So pretty. So pretty. Okay. So I do want to do a little bit of decorating on here and also on the belly band. So we're going to use some of these oh, I love this paper, so I'm going to use it to do a little bit of separating on here. So let me cut this down to a size that is pleasing to me, like that. Oh, that's so pretty. So pretty. I don't know why I'm so drawn to this. I think it's the watercolor look of and it's unusual. It's not your typical winter thing, which I tend to go very atypical for a lot of kits and things that I choose. I don't like traditional Christmas kits. I don't like all the Santa stuff and the They're really a lot of red, blue, and green kind of things. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. Let's just use the Fabri-Tac. It's easier, faster, and you can move it if you need to. So I'm just going to kind of center that as best I can. Boom. Love it. Okay. So let's look at our elements that I pulled out. So I had an idea about using, oh, but that's that image on that. That's not going to work. And this is not even the same tones. So that's not going to work. Scratch that. Okay, so we've got some beautiful images from the kit. I cut out a fussy cut. Oh, I'm leaning towards that maybe for the belly band. This could also be used kind of in a cluster way. Or we also have a circle. Oh, that's way too bold. It's too bright for these papers, in my opinion. This is a half of a file folder I thought would be fun. We could maybe do a fussy cut out of it. I feel like the tones go better with this, but not really. I'm pretty persnickety about that stuff, so that may not work. I'm leaning more towards this, softer colors. Yeah, let's do that. Now I feel like I want one more separation here, so let's, because it makes it look like you've got tons of layers when you really, I mean, we do have tons of layers, but I love the layered look. There we go. Again, centering that as best I can. That's really pretty. And I don't even know if this needs ink, but we're going to ink it because we want to. It's almost too pale, but I'm not going to be picky about it. Oh, it's too, is it too tall? Nope, it's just right. So, where is it? Yeah, I feel like that's just right because I don't want to cut off those dark edges because I think it's really beautiful. So we're going to just glue this on. In case I forgot to mention, I do work with 65-pound paper as my predominant paper. So all of these layers are going to build up to quite a bulk. But I allow for that bulk in my journals. I allow for, if I'm doing a 1 signature journal, the spine is 1 inch. If I'm doing a 3 signature journal, the spine is 3 inches because it allows me to have more bulk in my journals. I don't like to deprive myself of that. I don't like to worry about it. I love that. I feel like that needs to come over. Let's see if we can line this up and see if it's in the middle or not. No, it is not. That's okay. All right. The cards, yeah, we've got time to do the cards as well, but we're going to decorate the belly band also. Now, this is very bright, but I'm going to just experiment and see if I can grunge it up a little bit. So let's do that because it's a little bit too bright. Could have done that with the big circle as well. The big circle is too big for the belly band though, so I can kind of push back that really bright white just with a little bit of swipe of ink there. Look at the difference in that. And that's going to be perfect on our belly band. But now it needs something to separate it. That's way too it will just disappear. So where's the ephemera for this? Hold the fort. What did you do with it, Cara-Renee? Where are you, Floral Frost? There it is. Got buried under some bins. So I'm just going to look for something neutrally. Actually, we could just use this. And that will keep everything tied together. We'll just do that. We'll put this on here and maybe we will round the corners. That's the perfect size, so it's not quite I think, let's see if I've got something else in here I can use. Pardon me. I got it. We're going to use a circle. You can never go wrong with a circle. So let me get this out of the way. Hopefully I don't touch my mouse and stop the video. Okay, so this is probably about a 2-inch circle. So I'm just gonna, it might make it a little bit smaller, but I'm not gonna fuss with it. That's 2.5. Oh, it's too big. That's too big. We need to go smaller because we're not going to have enough space. So let me find the 2-incher. There it is. So we're going to lose some of that that border, but that's okay. So that's what we're going to end up with. It's all right. Just looking for an easy solution here. Okay, so then that's going to help separate that out. That helps, yeah. Okay, so let's ink this up. Wish I could have just done that with the other paper, but that's okay. Just want to pull it from the base here. Like so. Yep. Try and see if we can find the center here a little bit. It's going to go over here. Just going to make a little bit of a pencil mark here. You can mark on just one side and it's enough. So when you put that circle back down, you've got it going even. So I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac. Oh, I inked the wrong side. What? Oh, well. Okay, so there's my mark. So I'm just going to line that up there. Neat, nifty little trick. And let's see, our flower is going to go right there. So I'm just going to use my white glue so that I can get it to adhere fast. There we go. So pretty. That was just enough. It was a good solution right there. Just separates that out from the, oops, don't move the whole thing, Cara-Renee. And then we have some words, some strange, these are really big. Those are not going to work. Those are not going to work. I don't have my winter words out right now, guys. So I think I'm going to have to wait on that. Or we could just cut this out of the label. Let's do that. We can do what we want, right? Hopefully we can cut straight and it will all be good and well. And if it's not perfect, we will not cry. Actually, not too bad. That edge is the only edge that's not quite straight. Pretty proud of myself right there. I don't think I can round these corners though because it's too short. So we will just ink it up. Of course you could do that by hand, but I'm a little bit lazy. I'm going to grunge that up just a bit. So I love playing around with ephemera and seeing what I can do that's different than the way that the ephemera is intended to be used. So that's always a fun thing. So that's not quite enough. Let's get a little bit more of that fluffy cheesecloth or whatever this is. That was too much. It's always too much or not enough, right? Isn't that our life story sometimes? Too much or not enough. Still too much. It stretches out quite a bit, which is why I always end up struggling a little bit with that whole thing, but that'll get put back in the dish. And let's just put that right, or maybe we want it up here. I like those blue flowers, so I think I'll put it up there. A little bit of fabric tack and have it kind of come up over onto that fussy cut, like so. Boom. Pretty. I do want to do the tags for you. Or, I mean, you can see, I'm not going to probably do them on camera. I'm running out of time, but basically the way I created them, I'll show you on a sample. When you open up this one, it's just a small card. It's not very big. And I had them come up at differing heights. And I made sure that my tabs were also centered so that when you open like this one is kind of stuck up a little bit over that pocket, and then this one is staying below the top of the tag. So I didn't want that to be, I didn't want it to come up any higher. So I think I'll take care of that off camera, guys, because we're already running late. So I do want to put one more thing on the bottom here. So I love how that turned out. Look at how it brought out that yellow. Ooh, beautiful. So is this too much? Is it? Yeah, let's cut that out and use it as a label. I like that. Miracle, a highly improbable or extraordinary event that brings very welcome consequences. Isn't that the truth? I love it when miracles happen. And I think why is because they don't happen all that often. So we don't come to really, they feel like miracles because they don't happen every day. I mean, they happen in our world every day, but not to us as individuals every day. You know, like the really miraculous things. So it's kind of cool to think about. Just ink that up. And then I did do a separating piece on that other one, but I think I'm going to just leave this like that. Yeah, let's do it. And then I will let you go so that I can make the fourth one off camera and get this video ready before I have a busy Friday and Saturday. I'm going to help my daughter clean tomorrow after I get done with work. And then we'll be moving her on Saturday. Pardon me. I don't know what's going on with my my cough. These are the papers that will go in the pockets, so all from the kit. I'm going to slide this on the top because I don't want to affect that that gluing that I just did. So see how easily this is. You got to get past some things to get it in there, but it's pretty easy to get on if you give it enough space. So once you do it the first time, it's pretty easy peasy. Uh-oh. Why is that sliding down? What are we hanging up on here? Goodness gracious. For some reason, it's wanting to hang up on these corners. I haven't experienced that before. So you can make that a little bit wider if you wanted to not have to deal with that. And I want this to come down just about there so that you can peek. Sorry, I know this is close to my body. I'll show you. So you can kind of peek that there's something under there. It's mysterious. So that did not stick down very well. And then I'll put a whale tail tab on the top. Got a little bit of overhang there. I'll take care of that. And that is our video for today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.